Welcome to the Active Citizen series. I'm Kurt Smith. I'm a professor emeritus of philosophy, but more importantly for this series, I'm a former zoning hearing board member. The Active Citizen series is intended to help everyday citizens better engage in civic matters. This particular video series addresses the zoning hearing board and how to engage it. In this first video, we'll talk about the zoning hearing board, its purpose, its authority, and where it fits in the local government. So let's get to it. We can find the basic idea of zoning applied throughout antiquity. We find it hard at work, for example, in ancient Rome. City planners observed early on that many of the activities essential to a city's health could easily come into conflict, which, when they did, could wreak havoc on the city's inhabitants. The idea was that a city flourished when those activities were segregated from one another, where in being segregated, they would no longer interfere with one another. City planners classified such activities as residential, agricultural, commercial, educational, recreational, industrial, and so on. When a local governing body, such as a town or city council, sets out to zone, state law typically requires it to zone every inch of land over which it is responsible, where the zoning plan it enacts must accommodate every lawful activity or use of land. The authority to zone is derived from the police power of the state. A governing body will establish a planning committee to help put together a zoning plan. Ideally, the planning committee will be populated with experts in community planning, commerce, construction, technology, industry, emergency services, and will likely include an elected council member. Notice that at this early stage in the zoning planning process, there is no zoning hearing board. It does not exist at this point. Zoning hearing boards played no part in establishing the zoning plan. Even though the planning committee is important to this process, only the governing body has the authority to enact the zoning plan. The planning committee can recommend, but it cannot enact. When the governing body is ready to reveal the zoning plan to the community, it will advertise the unveiling in the local newspaper. It will also hold public hearings at which citizens can express their concerns. The zoning plan will then give rise to a set of laws that, if enacted and enforced, would bring the community in line with the zoning plan. This new body of laws is referred to as the zoning ordinances. Here you will find definitions of terms, detailed descriptions of each zoning district, and so on. Once the governing body is satisfied and has taken all the steps required by law, in a public meeting it can make a motion to enact the zoning plan, which will include enacting the zoning ordinances. The council will vote, and if that vote supports the proposal, the deed is done. The municipality has been zoned. But we're still not done, there's more. By law, when enacting a zoning plan, the governing body must establish a zoning office which will manage all things related to zoning. The zoning office will in turn employ at least one zoning officer. The zoning officer is responsible for determining when there is a violation of a zoning ordinance. Remember, the authority to do this is derived from the police power of the state. The government, in part, is telling a landowner what they can and cannot do with their land. Understandably, landowners may see this as limiting their rights to their land. Concerns over constitutionality may even arise. To settle conflicts between landowners and their local government, the state requires that the municipality establish a zoning hearing board, there we are, sometimes referred to as a board of adjustment. Now, the zoning hearing board serves as a quasi-judicial body that arbitrates conflicts between landowners and the zoning office, which is an arm of the local governing body. Simply put, the zoning hearing board hears and then decides who will prevail in such conflicts, the landowner or the town. Since the town is a party in zoning cases, it cannot also serve as the judge, and this is why the zoning hearing board exists. And so, to be crystal clear, the zoning hearing board is an independent, neutral board that does not answer to the governing body and does not answer to the zoning office. All of its decisions are made by vote, and all decisions are based on facts, testimony under oath, and the law. So there you have it. Now you know what a zoning hearing board is, what its purpose is, what its authority is, and where it fits in your local government.